Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with February's Mix It Up Monday, a hop started by Anna with Peacecraft Love and Kimberly with I'd Rather Be Scrapbooking. And here is our sketch for this month. It is created by Misty with Crazy Soup Video, and I think she has an Instagram as well that's Crazy Soup Picture maybe, or Crazy Soup Pic. It will be linked below. Sorry. And I am documenting these pictures of my kids on a helicopter ride. And I'm using up some stash from 2014, which makes me very happy. And I'm also using up some scraps. While there are 3 scraps here that I totally plan on using, I'm going to change 2 of those. So only one will stay. And then I have a 12 by 12 base page that I'm going to stencil through this Scrapping Reflections cloud stencil. And I'm going to use this Salty Ocean, and I'm also going to bring in Stormy Sky. And then I have a silver metallic pen and mustard seed distressed oxide and distressed texture paste in white matte by Tim Holtz. And then I have cut out this helicopter off my Cricut twice. So I have my papers, I have my embellishments, I have my helicopter and my mixed media, my pictures, and this sketch. So let's see how this goes. Okay, first of all, this is the second time I have tried to fully record this, and probably my 7th time trying to actually do it. And I think it's because I don't feel great that I keep messing it up. So here's hoping we get through this edition of the voiceover. So I start with Stormy Sky through this cloud stencil. I love this stencil. And I do it mostly lightly, but some places it's a little more heavy-handed. And then I come in with the Salty Ocean, and I'm really trying to do mostly the outside of the cloud, and then some of them, like that small one up at the top, I do kind of heavy-handed all around. And then once I am done covering everything, I want it all to be predominantly blue. I come in with a few swipes of this texture paste. Now I don't want it on the stencil, mostly because I really don't want the whole cloud to be that way. I want that blue to be the outlier, but I want to put some of that paste in the inside because I want the texture. So there it is. I love the reveal of a stencil. So I'm thrilled with the way that turned out. So I start with this mint color with the mountains on it, and then exchange the one that had the map and stuff on it with this dark blue one that goes with that same collection. I cut them into 2.5 inch strips, 2.5 by 12, and then I cut a slight angle on on all 3 of them. Now, this one right here has compasses on it, and I realized after I started to cut that the compasses are the wrong direction, and north is actually west, and that's just too much for me to handle. So I exchanged it for this piece of that I had a scrap of, and the colors aren't exact, but I'm okay with that. They actually bring in some of the colors from my embellishments, so I'm going to go with that and be happy. And it has word phrases about travel and stuff. So then I take my, the 3rd layer of this helicopter, and I'm going to use this metallic silver marker and color in just the propellers. I considered some other parts like the tail or something, but decided I would just go with the propellers. So I'm going to build that straight onto the layout when the time comes, because trying to put something so thin together and getting it to adhese somewhere didn't sound like fun to me. I figured I'd put it straight down on the layout and I won't have to worry about it. So I'm going to put these papers down here, and I want to leave kind of a big enough gap in between so you can see the clouds and it doesn't just look like a blue smear. So you can get a little bit of that curve in there and stuff. So I lay all this down. I did ink around this strip in the middle with the Salty Ocean, just to give it a little definition. And then I am going to put my pictures down just to see what I want to do with them. I trim up that one of the helicopter because I don't need that much of that picture. Could I have trimmed up the other two? Maybe a little, but I really just didn't want to cut out the things. Especially the one of my son. We're actually in the helicopter, and there's a picture of him looking out while they're getting ready to go higher up in the air. So I mat those two pictures of my kids on the opposite paper that they are laying on. And then the picture of the helicopter, I mat with the scraps from the helicopter, the yellow, and then I mat it again with the black. So I put the propeller up in the sky and have the helicopter just kind of like it's going over those mountains and trees, which is exactly what we did. And then here I'm adding the little bits and pieces to give it that extra definition that it needed. So I put the windows back in, and there's a little strip of black at the bottom that I also add. It is not 100% accurate. There is a couple little bits and pieces because the left side and part of the right side are on top of texture paste. And so they get a little wonky, and I'm perfectly fine with it from here. I can't tell up close. If you look very closely, you can see where it's not fully connected. And there's a little gap, but I certainly don't care. So I use Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to attach this picture of my daughter and the picture of my son at the bottom, because both of them are covering over some texture paste, and Nuvo Deluxe will hold over that and get the grip that I need so that the picture doesn't come up or come off. And I don't want them directly above each other or below each other, so I move his over a little. And then I was trying to decide where I wanted to put the title, and on the sketch it calls for it to be in this general area. So I put the word explore right under the helicopter. And then I'm just going to take the rest of the embellishments from this sticko sheet and added it back and everywhere. Or I added it. Sorry, you all. I am a little out of it. I've had a bad headache all day long from sinuses, and so who knows, like I said, if this will make it all the way to the actual video. So I am adding a little tag up here at the top, little word phrases, things like that. I know this is a plane and I'm on a helicopter. It's fine. It says destination unknown, and we didn't know where we were going. We just knew we were flying over Gatlinburg. So I thought that was appropriate, and like I said, I wanted to use up this whole entire sticker sheet if I could. And then I pull these crafter square and put one on each of the pictures. The binoculars I felt were appropriate just for the fact that we were exploring, and you use binoculars when you're looking for things and things like that. And so there's a compass at the bottom, and then I'm going to add this globe right underneath the little plane. I was excited when the little bit at the end was still not dry from the Nuvo, to where I could tuck that in underneath there, because I think it looks really good there. And while there is a bit of trapped space, it's blue from the cloud, so I'm not worried about that at all. And it gives me that third little cluster that has that same metal and, and color and pattern and everything. And I feel like even though we were only in one little place and don't necessarily need a globe, I like the way that looks. So after I get that done, I decided I'm going to use the rest of these sticko embellishments. One of them said trip, and I'm going to put that down at the bottom. And then one of them has another little phrase, and that's on the right side of my son's picture. I can't see what that says because there's a little thing when you're recording that blocks the bottom of your screen. So I'm sure that it says something along the lines of travel. So, but it'll even out the color scheme. There's that diagonal of that explore, and then the word trip, and then those two little square word phrases that say different things about traveling and exploring. So after that, I pull out my Tim Holtz small talk, and I use the black because I've already got some black on here, and pull out 6 different word phrases. I think the one for Katie says, with brave wings she flies and take risks. The one for Jameson said something like, be brave, and I can't remember what the other one said over there. But then the this one here that I just put over here by the globe says, not all who wander are lost. And I think there's another one that says, adventure awaits for you, or something like that. So I just thought they were all pretty appropriate little quotes, and I just add those in there. And I do love the way this layout turned out. I was a little skeptical at first because, like I said, I have a headache, and I kept faffing about and trying to debate if I wanted to change anything else. But I end up being done, and I like the way that it looks. So here are the close-ups of the layout. If you all have not already, I hope you will go check out the other people who are hopping along with Mix It Up Monday, and they should be linked below, whether it's a playlist or just a list. Either way, please go check them out. Lots of creative people in this group, and I love watching all these videos to see how everybody takes the same sketch and turns it and does different things with it. Also, I would love it if you all would comment below, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you'll come back and see me again real soon. Have a great day, and happy scrapping.